Hi viewers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial I'll be learning on how to cut and sew a two-side standing edge on a corset blouse or top. Alright, so I'll be using my crinoline. I used the wideness of 7 inches, then I folded it into two. I doubled it. Alright, then I'm actually using the length of 15.5 because I had to measure my top, the side where I want it to be. Alright, so it's giving 15.5. So at this point now I'm just pinning the crinoline, giving it exactly the shape I want on it. Okay, so once this is done, I'll go ahead and introduce my sewable bone to it. Alright, so I'll be placing this at the tip now, then sew just right at the tip. Okay, so I actually use a pin to secure it. So at this point now, just sew right at the tip of this. I'm actually doing it gradually because I don't want my thread to cut. So this is how I'll sew this until I get to the other side of this. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and take off my pins while I sew. Alright, so I actually got two of this. Okay, it's actually meant to be two. So once I get to this point, I'll go ahead and cut the bone. Okay, then sew right at the other side of the bone. It's actually a two sides sewing. Okay, so once I'm done, I'll go ahead and place this on the downside, just like this. Then I will sew till I get to the other side of it. All right, so this is HP Fashions GY. Alright, so I'll just turn to the other side and sew like this, and that's all for this. So at the same time, I'll still introduce my bone to this. I'll be placing it on the middle side of this. Alright, so the reason why I'm actually introducing my bone in all side of this is I want it to really stand, to give that standing look. I want it to really stand properly, to not to fall, not to be weak, not whenever we get to wash the dress and try to fix it, put it on again, it will just fall. No. So whenever one tries to wear the clothes, it will always stand perfectly. Okay, alright, so at this time I'll go ahead and take off the excess thread and all. Okay, so at this point now, just go ahead and stitch the sides of the crinoline that I folded, because I want every part of this to like relax properly. Okay, so this is exactly all we have. Okay, so at this point now we'll repeat the same procedure for the second one. Yeah, the second one, because it's actually two. So at this point now, just go ahead and place this on my main fabric, folded into two, add up 1 inch allowance for seam allowance. Okay, so I had to cross this way because I really want it to be firm. Okay, so I crossed it, I added extra bone. So at this point now, I'll go ahead and sew my fabric. All right, I'll go ahead and sew my fabric. So when getting this fabric, I folded it into two to get for the sewing and the interface all at once. Okay, so I'm actually using the same material for the main fabric, which is the one outside and the one inside. Okay, all right, so I'll be making two of this because the two, it's actually a two standing edge. I don't even know what to call it. Okay, so after sewing this, I'll just go ahead and give it a very nice press. Okay, so this is it. So at this point now, I'll just go ahead and still confirm my measurement from this tip, which is the middle side, to the side I want it to be, which is given around 15.2 inches. So from that point now, just insert my structure inside, which I use crinoline and bone to make, inside my fabric. So I actually draw a line because I want it to come up a little. So I went up with about 1.5 inches from the waist, from the joining side. All right, then I connected it to the middle side and the back. So I will start my sewing from the front using 1/2 inch. So I place this on the middle side of this, then I will just have to sew right on top of my choke. All right, so I'll just sew this way right on top of my choke. Then I'm sewing with about 1/2 inch, nothing more, nothing less. Yes, okay. So I'm actually placing this right on top of my choke because that's exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so even while sewing, you can see that the structure, the standing edges is actually firm and it's standing the way I want it. So this is how I made it. So that's the reason why I use crinoline for this is even after washing the dress, it won't have to squeeze. It will still be standing exactly the way it is from the beginning. Okay, it will not squeeze, it will not break, nothing at all. So once I get to this point now, I'll just stitch, take off my excess thread and repeat the same procedure for the other side. Okay, so this is how it looks for one side of it. This is how it is. Okay, so I'll just place this. So I'm sewing for the second side now. Although I started my sewing from the back side of this, but I'm actually tracing my choke. Alright, so I'm placing this right on top of my choke where I draw a line, making sure that every part of this dress is equal and okay. So once I get to this point now, I will just stop stitch and take off my excess thread. Okay, so this is exactly what we have. This is the two sides of it. So at this point now, go ahead and trim up the excess allowance I left under there, right? So after trimming it up, I actually got another fabric which is more like a lining or anything. I use mikado or so, though I did not post it in this video, but I use a wideness of about 2 inches to sew and turn the tip of this, right, to turn the tip of this side I'm trimming now, so that it will not look rough, to give it that good finishing, right? So I will just turn it and top stitch. So this is the final look of this for the joining of our down side. All right, so this is it. This is how it is. Looking very beautiful, very nice, very okay. All right, so this is the inner side of the dress. This is it. So tell me what you think about this dress, and if you find this video very helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't also forget to turn up your notification button. Okay, this is HP Fashions GY. All right, so this is it. It's looking very firm. Nothing will break, nothing is tearing in, nothing is going anywhere. So everything is just perfect. Okay, so once this is done, we'll go ahead and introduce our beads to our dress. And this dress is ready and it's giving what it's supposed to give. It's giving luxury, it's screaming beauty. Okay, see you next time in my next video. Bye.